from your ICRC days and the Red Cross and being the custodian of the laws of war, tell us a little bit about your views on the crime of aggression and whether you think there's a reasonable prospect it would be incorporated within the ICC statute and whether that would be a good or a bad thing.
Well, just my personal opinion is that I don't think it's going to be incorporated anytime soon. Actually, it already is incorporated in a technical sense. It's one of the crimes that the ICC can exercise jurisdiction over pending an agreement of the state parties on the definition of the crime and some other details. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. And the reasons are deeply embedded in international politics and also in questions having to do with less powerful nations wondering why it is by accident the winners of the Second World War that sit on the Security Council. And the relationship between those two things is that there is discussion about a trigger for the crime of aggression being prosecuted by the ICC being a Security Council determination in the first place that aggression occurred. In other words, it wouldn't be the court exclusively that has the authority to start a prosecution for the crime of aggression. It would have to essentially be approved by the Security Council. And so if the question of the Security Council being the gatekeeper to the crime of aggression arises, and it makes some sense that it should, because it's the United Nations Security Council that is empowered under the UN Charter to have all these peacekeeping and peace enforcing powers. But there are countries that are not permanent members of the Security Council, and of course that's the vast majority of countries in the world, that are wondering, well, why should those 5 permanent members have a veto power exclusively over whether or not the crime of aggression actually gets prosecuted by the ICC? So there are some very strong, deep, and difficult aspects of international politics and policy that I think will for a long time stand in the way of resolving the ICC's ability to prosecute the crime of aggression.
Thank you. And so Pam, I want to, final question for you. I mean, one of the things about your films are that they're not just fantastic, pieces of cinematography and movie making, they also have a call to action in many of them. And this film has been remarkable in developing an extremely sophisticated and elaborated outreach and distribution strategy behind it. So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about the website, IJ Central. Tell us about what you hope the film will do and how you're self-consciously planning for it to do that.
Well, we have a 3-year audience engagement and outreach campaign, and The Reckoning is really meant to open people up to the idea of international justice and the International Criminal Court, and then have them go to ijcentral.org and find out about the already vibrant movement, of which Human Rights First is a member, of course, of this international justice movement, what else they can learn, how they can get involved. We also believe in making the materials from the film available for everyone. You might want to buy a DVD here, but you can also stream The Reckoning for free online now at the POV site, which was our national broadcaster. We've made short video modules between 10 and 15 minutes about different subjects in the film, about the Darfur case, about the creation of the International Criminal Court. So if you're a teacher, you can take one of those 10 minutes and show it in the classroom and have a discussion about the International Criminal Court. And we also have a 40-page discussion guide, which will help you if you want to do a screening for your community, for your church. Acquaint yourself more deeply with the International Criminal Court so that you can lead these kinds of discussions. And we're working with the people that were line producers in the situation countries and be our outreach partners. Because they helped us make the film, they have a vested interest in taking the film out because they knew what went into making it. We're making multiple language versions. And IGCentral.org is a place you can go if you want to delve more deeply. It's not only a global social network about international justice, but it also has the summaries from the International Criminal Court about the Lubanga trial. They do a 10-minute summary every week. You can see it on there. There's other videos you can see. You can really keep up to date with the limited amount of time that we all have in what's going on in the realm of international justice. So those are some of the pillars of the outreach campaign. You know, it's not really enough now to just make a film. It's really trying to make the best film possible, and then going out and letting it live, helping it live its life.